Have you ever felt like your heart is racing, your palms are literally sweating, and your mind absolutely going blank before a big moment? You prepare for days, maybe even for weeks, but right before you step up, boom, anxiety kicks in and you can't deliver the way you know you can. If this sounds familiar, you need to watch this video. Because today I'm breaking down why does this happen and more importantly how you can train your mind to perform at your best every single time. If you are tired of letting anxiety sabotage your success, stick around because this video is going to change the way you show up in high pressure moments. This one particular thing has always bothered me. Like, how do I let go of this anxiety, a very peculiar anxiety, which strikes me whenever I'm about to do something substantial or big? I believe that this is probably one of the biggest reasons behind my past failures in life. So, have you, like me, always suffered with this anxiety? Like, whenever I'm about to give an exam, I'm prepared for days, I have done like revisions twice, but whenever the clock strikes, anxiety kicks in and I cannot perform. I used to all get this jittery feelings before entering the exam hall. Like my palms are sweating, my mind is going blank, my heart is really thumping and I could like sense it in my mind. All my corporate folks, you must have also experienced this. You're about to step into giving the greatest presentation of your life, and you know this is a big opportunity for you. But right before you step onto the podium or the stage, you like there's number of thoughts which run across your head and you go like shit, I can't do this, I cannot do this, and this nervousness and anxiousness, however you define it, continues throughout the entire session. And the result, you fail to bring the value you imagined you would, ultimately considering yourself a complete failure. Yeah, that happens with you too, right? Actually, and in fact, it happens with a lot of us: musicians, stage performance, artists, keynote speakers, every single body. The only difference between you and those who manage to overcome this and succeed regardless is the amount of time they have spent training their mind to feel excited instead of anxious at that particular moment. This single trait defines the entire performance. If you can train your mind to function in a certain manner, you can outperform when such situations arise. Let me explain how. This feeling of anxiousness, which you get right before stepping onto for a big moment, is called performance anxiety. This is a blog called Psychology Today. It publishes content written by clinicians, experts, and researchers from across the fields of behavior and psychology. According to this, some of the most common symptoms of performance anxiety are humiliation and dread about making mistakes, shame at not being perfect in front of an audience, worry about what people will think, fear of disappointing others, and concerns about looking weird or stupid. What's interesting to notice here is we get performance anxiety not because we fear failing ourselves, but we are really worried that we will fail in front of others. And to us, that is huge and significant. Dr. K, in one of his very recent videos on how to develop charisma as an introvert, pointed out to a very interesting concept called self referential processing. For example, say you're driving a car one fine day. You're in your pajamas, sipping coffee, enjoying your ride, and suddenly, one fine day, your husband or your partner says, come on, today I'm gonna sit and tell you how great you drive. The moment somebody sits beside you and you know that that person is judging your driving skills and they know that how to drive very well, your mind goes all berserk. Like, oh, I need to park properly, oh, I need to drive properly, oh, I need to do a parallel parking. All of these thoughts start running in your head. And at that very moment, when you notice that somebody is judging you, you create a mess. Your car jumps over a bump or you can't park properly. Similarly, when you know that somebody is judging you or looking at you, this triggers that what we discuss as self-referential processing. That is, you start seeing or judging yourself through their eyes. This response intensifies when you are put into high pressure situations where you know whatever your actions are is being seen or judged by others around you. For example, many of us are not really worried about an average performance. But what we are really worried is not meeting our parents' expectations. In such moments, pressure to perform increases, amplifying our fight or flight response. As a result, self-depreciating thoughts starts running in your mind. Like, oh, I'm disappointed, oh, I can't do this, oh, I just don't have it in me, oh, I can't perform, I'm not really prepared. This trigger is what we call as performance anxiety. According to a research on anxiety and cognitive performance, anxiety affects our minds in two ways. First, it floods our mind with self-depreciating thoughts, making it super hard for us to focus at the task in hand. Second, it pushes us to try harder to overcome these feelings. Sometimes it works, sometimes it makes things worse. Let me explain this to you with an example. Imagine that you are driving a car in the F1 race, where car represents you and the windshield of the car represents your brain or your mind. Now you're pushing this car at 200 miles per hour with huge acceleration, revving your engine, it's at its top speed. Now, just because you're running at so much speed, your windshield starts getting covered with dust and bugs. Now, the faster you go, the more your windshield starts getting cluttered with dust and bugs, and the more difficulty you have to seeing the road ahead. This is exactly what happens when anxiety kicks in. It starts cluttering your mind just like the windshield, making it harder for you to focus and react effectively, making it super hard for you to drive even though you know how to drive very well. Now, after some point, you realize that you just can't continue just because you absolutely can't see the road ahead. So, you start reaching out for your extra tools, say windshield liquid, which can clear the windshield and help you see it clearly. If that works, great, your windshield is clear, your mind is clear. But if the extra tools do not work, then your windshield is still cluttered with dust and bugs. Similarly, in high pressure situations, you reach out for your extra tools. For example, you try to remain calm or take deep breaths when you're feeling this anxiety or pressure. If you know how to do that and can calm down your nerves, great, your windshield is clear, your mind is spick and span. But if you can't clear your mind or windshield at that particular moment in high pressure situations, and many of us cannot, your anxiety continues to clutter your mind, affecting your performance. There's a vast research done on performance anxiety in the music industry because musicians often face unique high pressure situations that can make stage fright a major issue. Research by Kenny in 2011 estimates that 70% of the musicians have performance anxiety or experience performance anxiety. But here is the shocking part. Only 3 out of 10 musicians know how to handle it effectively. 3 out of 10. That means that most of the people or musicians are struggling without having the tools they need to cope. This statistic wouldn't have concerned me if poor performance didn't deeply affect people. It didn't make them feel like complete unworthy or failures in life. But the truth is their inability to perform is considered as a defining benchmark, and majority of people never give themselves a chance again. So we have to find a solution for this. What if I told you that the answer is not fighting your anxiety? It's about transforming it into something even more powerful: excitement. This is what Harvard research says about anxiety and excitement. Both anxiety and excitement are characterized by high arousal, signaled by increased heart rate. Unlike reappraising anxiety as calmness, which requires a physiological shift from high to low arousal, as well as a cognitive shift from negative to positive balance, reappraising anxiety as excitement requires only a cognitive change in balance, because anxiety and excitement are arousal congruent. Let me explain this to you in a very simple manner. Remember, we were driving an F1 car. We were at a top speed when suddenly anxiety kicked in and it cluttered our windshield. That caused us to be in a high energy state because we were all anxious and worried. At that moment, trying to turn your anxiety into calmness will force you to reduce your speed, just because you will have to reach out for your extra tools. You have to reduce your acceleration. Basically, if you really want to focus through that cluttered windshield, you will have to force yourself to calm down, pushing your body from high energy to low energy state. But what if I told you that, hey, you don't need to slow down? You can continue revving at the same speed, at the same acceleration, by just converting your anxious nature into excitement. Instead of thinking to yourself, like, oh no, cluttered windshield, you can instead say, like, oh wow, what an exciting challenge to race through this. Your heart can still race, your mind can still run, but instead of holding you back, this energy can fuel your peak performance. All it will take is a simple reframe from anxiety to excitement. So the question is, how do we do it? You need to shift the dialogue you have with yourself. According to the Harvard research, since both emotions share the same high energy, you only need to adjust your thoughts, not your body's arousal. The paper further explains that the way we talk about our feelings influences whether we feel anxious or excited, which dramatically influences subsequent performance. That means if we constantly repeat to ourselves that, oh, I will disappoint, oh, I am not great at this, oh, I can't do this, I'm really not prepared, I will be disappointing others, I may be looking weird or stupid. By the way, deep down, we actually don't think that we are that inadequate. We assume that that's what others are thinking of us just because of our self referential processing. So, in fact, we aren't really worried about the stage itself. But what we are really thinking or worried about is the statements which we think that others are thinking about us. And these statements, when we keep repeating to our own selves, is what affects our performance. So the next time when you are having performance anxiety, instead of forcing yourself to calm down or lowering down your energy, you can maintain that energy and give the best of performances by issuing multiple self statements. Say you're thinking, I'm worried that I'm going to have a bad time and people aren't going to like me. Instead, say to yourself that I'm excited for these new experiences and to meet new people. I've got nothing to lose. Another one, I'm nervous about racing because I'm not sure if I'll perform as well as I'd like. Replace the thought with, I have been putting a lot of work into training and I'm excited to see if I have improved. Confidence is what we get when we take fear, face it, and replace it. By reframing your self talk from I am nervous to I'm excited, you consciously choose where to direct your concentration and energy rather than trying to suppress your anxiety by trying to be calm. Forcing yourself to calm down means shifting both your body from high energy state to a relaxed one and your mind from negative thoughts to positive one. But in those high pressure moments when you are really worried, trying to do that is not always possible. Reframing anxiety into excitement only requires you to change your mindset, since both the emotions generate the same energy in your body. This makes it easier to quickly shift your state of mind, creating space for a confident and high performance outcome. Let's wrap this video up with a challenge that can change everything for you. Next time your anxiety hits, start counting down from 10 and say it out loud that I am excited. Remember, anxiety and excitement are two sides of the same coin. It creates the same energy, it just requires a flip in your mindset. Before you go, here's your action plan. Notice when performance anxiety shows up. When that happens, use the 10-second countdown technique. And at that moment, transform that energy into excitement. Now go out there and perform like you were always